Every time somebody buys a motorcycle, especially a Royal Enfield in India, they immediately start planning a trip to Leh, Ladakh, and Spiti. While these places are absolutely beautiful, there are many more exotic, amazing places in India that you should go on a motorcycle. Sikkim is my personal best so far. What are the documents that you require if you want to plan a motorcycle trip to Sikkim? If you've been to the Northeast, then the concept of inner line permit is not new to you. If you've not, then a quick introduction. To visit the restricted areas of Northeast and other parts of the country, you require what you call an inner line permit, which is issued by the Tourism Department of India. You can apply for an inner line permit for Sikkim at various places. If you do a quick Google search, then you'll be able to find. Now you can split Sikkim into 5 sections. Usually on the map you will find 4 sections, but I'll split it into 5 sections. There is the northern districts, the western districts, the eastern districts, and the south districts. Right? To get to Gangtok, you do not require an inner line permit. And by the way, inner line permit has now been renamed to restricted areas permit. So you do not require a restricted areas permit to get to Gangtok. When I went to Sikkim, I got the restricted access or inner line permit as it used to be called back then for the eastern district and for the northern district. I did not get it for the western and the southern district because I did not have enough time to go throughout Sikkim, and secondly, the most important parts that I did want to visit in Sikkim were in the northern district and the eastern district. So in the northern district you will find Lachung, Lachen, Yumthang Valley, Gurdongmar Lake, 0 point. In the eastern district you have Nathula Pass and Baba Mandir, and I will talk about that. So let's talk about the northern district. How I planned my trip was I went from Gangtok to a place called Mangan. Mangan is the last stop where you get petrol, and there are no petrol pumps in the north districts. So Mangan is the last place where you can fill petrol in your motorcycle. So fill petrol to the full, fill up your tank to the full, and then take at least 10 liters of petrol with you as a backup. You will need it. It's not really backup. Then from there I went to Lachen, and from Lachen I went to Gurdongmar Lake. From Gurdongmar Lake I came down back to Lachen, and on the same day I went from Lachen to Lachung. I stayed the night in Lachung. From there I went to 0 point. From 0 point I came back to Lachung, freshened up, and came back to Mangan. By that time my petrol was almost over. I filled petrol again and came back to Gangtok. I took a day or two of rest. From there I went to the East District, which is Nathula Pass. From Nathula Pass I went to Baba Mandir, and from there I did not come back to Gangtok. I straight away kept on going via Zuluk, and Zuluk is the Silk Route, original Silk Route, and it is the most exotic, the most beautiful road that I've ever ridden in. The roads are horrible, don't get me wrong. Horrible roads. I would recommend a off-roading motorcycle. Even the Royal Enfield Classic is not best suited for those roads, but it is so beautiful. It is the zigzag road that comes all the way from Nathula Pass down till Rangpo. So you can directly access Rangpo from Nathula Pass via Zuluk. You don't have to come back to Gangtok. Now let's talk about the documents. You are going to require an ID proof and an address proof. If you are going on a motorcycle, you will require your registration document. If you are riding your own motorcycle, well and good. If you have rented the motorcycle, you will require a permission letter from the renter that you are going to be riding this motorcycle. And usually people who rent out motorcycles give you that letter. They know what is required there. They will require the insurance of the motorcycle. But most importantly, you will require the pollution under control certificate. Now, there is only one PUC office in Gangtok which remains closed on Sunday, and I wasted one entire day because I did not have a PUC. So make sure you carry your PUC. These days you get a PUC for a whole year, so it's a good idea to take it anyways. Besides that, you will require, they do not accept Aadhaar card as an ID proof or an address proof. So make sure you carry other alternatives like, your driving license usually works, but not everybody has their driving license from their current address. So it would be a good idea to carry an alternative like a PAN card or a passport, whatever is your address proof, and an ID proof. Once you get the permit, and it takes about 48 hours for them to issue the permit, whether it is in Gangtok that you are getting it issued or any other tourism department in India. Once you get your restricted address permit, make several copies of it, at least 12 copies, because every time at every checkpost they check your documents, they keep one copy of it with themselves. So if you are visiting all these places, make sure that you carry multiple copies. Like for example, if you are going to Nathula Pass, doesn't mean that they will only check it once. On your way to Nathula Pass, they might check it twice or thrice. So carry multiple copies of not just the permits, but also all the documents that you are submitting to get the permit. So your driving license, your PUC certificate, everything. If you carry all your documents, if you keep them handy, it's a really good place to go to. I hope you have fun. I hope you think beyond Leh, Ladakh and Spiti.